Hello and good evening to our Thursday Mindfulness Zen class. So today we're going to discuss how to practice wise selfishness. But before we begin our Dharma sharing, we're going to first do 30 minutes of loving kindness or metta meditation. So some people, when they first come to this kind of meditation, it's known both as loving kindness and metta meditation, they may feel that, oh, I don't feel very loving, so how can I really do this meditation? Well, the good news is that it isn't necessary for you to kind of make some kind of strong feeling of love or kindness. It's mainly, you can think of it more as a sense of wishing good wishes to others with a sense of friendliness. Okay? Like you would like to see something good happen to a good friend of yours, with a sense of, I'm happy for your success, or I'm happy for your happiness. So it's with this sense of the spirit of generosity and of gift-giving that we bring to the practice of loving kindness. And that is all that is required. Because as you practice it regularly, then you will start to automatically develop this sense of connection and also compassion towards all others. And we begin by offering loving kindness to ourselves. So let's try this practice. First, find a comfortable but alert position for yourself. You can close your eyes if you like, or if you prefer to keep them open, then open them slightly and direct your gaze downwards with a soft focus. Come into your breath. Feel the body breathing. And with each out-breath, release the tensions and stresses that have built up during the day. So with this simple intention of friendliness to all, let's begin by offering these words of loving kindness to ourselves. May I be safe, be happy, be healthy. May I live peacefully. Just try to bring your attention to each phrase as you say it, and say it silently to yourself at a speed and a rhythm that is comfortable and pleasing to you. May I be safe, be happy, be healthy. May I live peacefully. It's a very soft, gentle voice that you can use as you recite these phrases silently to yourself. Now, try to bring to mind someone who's been kind to you or good to you, or even someone who you may not know very well, but has inspired you from afar. See if you can think of someone like that. Recall their image. Say their name silently to yourself and bring them to mind. And then, with a spirit of gift giving, offer them these wishes. May you be safe, be happy, be healthy. May you live peacefully. If your mind gets distracted or it wanders off, don't worry, it's not a problem. When you realize that it's happening, try and let go of the distractions or whatever has taken you away from the practice, and gently guide yourself back to repeating the phrases again, starting from the beginning. May you be safe, be happy, be healthy. May you live peacefully. Now, see if you can bring to mind someone who you have a good relationship with, a warm relationship, a good friend, or a sibling who you get along very well with. Bring that person to mind. Imagine what they look like. You can say the name silently to yourself. And offer them these words of loving kindness. May you be safe. Be happy. Be healthy. May you live peacefully. And really, don't worry if you find your mind wandering off. It is really totally normal. And it's part of the practice to notice it and bring yourself back to the phrases starting from the beginning again. May you be safe. Be happy. Be healthy. May you live peacefully. Next, see if you can bring to mind someone you know who may be struggling in their life right now. Maybe they're facing some difficulties which they find in their life, which they're finding it hard to overcome. See if you can think of someone like that. Bring them to mind. And then, with the spirit of generosity and well-wishing, offer them these phrases. May you be safe. Be happy. Be healthy. May you live peacefully. And finally, let us offer loving kindness to all beings living in the air, on the ground, and in the water. May all beings be safe, be happy, be healthy. May all beings live peacefully. May all beings be safe, be happy, be healthy. May all beings live peacefully. As we come to the close of this meditation, see if you can try perhaps doing just 5 minutes of this loving kindness meditation each day. Just pick someone to offer these loving kindness wishes to, someone who you think might need some love and kindness in their life at the moment. And try it and see what effects it may have on you over the medium and long term. When you're ready, start to open your eyes and bring your attention back to the room again. And thank you so much for your practice. If you practice this pretty consistently and regularly, I'm sure you'll notice the benefits that it will bring to you. So, on to our Dharma sharing. So tonight, we're going to talk about wise selfishness. So, maybe like me, when you first hear of the phrase, why selfishness, you'll think, doesn't make sense, you know. These two words don't go together. They contradict each other. They're like what we call in English an oxymoron. So this is actually a word that was coined by His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. So, but then when I heard it, I thought, selfishness isn't wise. And when you are a wise person, you're not selfish. Actually, it's to be generous. That's how we conventionally think. But I hope by the end of this short sharing, you will get the idea that by being wisely selfish, you can actually help yourself and others. So, what is wise selfishness? So, Dalai Lama puts it like this: thinking and acting more compassionately towards others. And actually doing that is the best way of fulfilling your own interests. Funny, isn't it? So, most of the time, we're actually very self-centered. We live in our own little world, and we are at the center of it. Some people call it this skull-sized kingdom, you know. Our kingdom is our world, and it's basically the size of our head or our mind. So it's very self-centered. And but that is actually part of the problem. So how do we take care of ourselves without, you know, being selfish about it? So first, we do wise selfishness rather than foolish selfishness. Foolish selfishness means that we just think of ourselves, you know. We are the center. Everything happens for some reason to me. You know, I'm the reason why things happen, or put it another way. And everything good should happen to me. Whatever I say is right, and nothing bad should ever happen. So I do things to make what I think should go right for me. So we only basically, most of the time, think of ourselves and don't worry about others. And we may even go to the extent of making use of others, or exploiting them, or even bullying them to get what we want, okay, to satisfy our wishes and desires. So that is kind of like a self-centered attitude, and that is part of the problem. That's why we often see so much suffering in this world, you know, suffering caused by people to others, and also they also receive suffering in return. So taking care of others, helping others, is ultimately really the way to discover your own joy, and that leads to a happier life. So that is the idea of wise selfishness. We do compassionate acts to others so that we may also benefit. So let's go into this a little bit more. So if you understand, if you grasp the law of cause and effect, or karma, then the idea of why selfishness is very easy to understand. You know, everything that we do comes back to us in one way or another. You know, it's just like throwing a ball at a wall. You know, it always comes back. If you throw it hard, it comes back hard. If you throw it gently, it will bounce back to you gently. So in Christianity, it says you reap what you sow. So if you plant watermelons, you don't expect to get apples. You always get watermelon. So, excuse me, what goes round comes around. So it's not some kind of Buddhist idea, cause and effect. It's actually a universal law, and it is expressed in different ways in different religions, different faiths, but it's there if you look for it. So some people may think, well, you know, I don't like, maybe it's good not to have anything really happen to me. I try to do nothing, so I don't create any karmic debt. I don't owe anybody anything, and nobody owes me anything. Well, doing nothing is also a choice and a form of action, or a choice for non-action. And that also will actually come back to us because we choose to do that. And if you notice, it's actually impossible to go through life without actually doing anything. You know, you have to relate to people to live in this world. We depend on others so much for even just the simple act of getting through our day. You know, the lights that we switch on, the food that we eat, you know, the water that we drink. A lot of people, a lot of energy is put into that. So you cannot go through the day without actually incurring some kind of cause and effect. So then, why not practice compassion action? So that when you benefit others, it will in return benefit you. So you can think of it as a win-win situation. You do something kind for somebody, they benefit. And then you also benefit in return for doing this kind of act. And actually, there's one more win in this. Those folks who around you who witness this kind and compassionate act, they are in the scientific research shown to be more inspired and motivated to do something kind and compassionate to somebody else later on. So actually, it's not just a win-win, it's a win-win-win situation. So it's like throwing a little pebble into a pond, it ripples out. So compassion and kindness ripples out, and it always comes back to you, because when you are kinder to other people, they are in turn kinder to you. It was funny today. Actually, today something very interesting happened. I was trying to take some friends to a Japanese vegan restaurant, and I was kind of like delayed because I was stuck waiting to see a doctor at a hospital. So we got to the restaurant pretty late. It was just half an hour before they closed, and I dropped them off because I had to find parking. And when I eventually managed to park the car and walked up to the restaurant, they were standing outside, like, you know, I said, why are you going in? They said, well, they don't want to serve us because they said we're too late. It was about 5 or 10 past 3 by that time. So I went out and said, well, you know, can't we eat something? Is it possible? So they said, oh, no, the person said, no, you can't, you know, too late. We're going to take a rest at 3:30, and people, you know, our kitchen staff need to rest, our service staff need to rest. You know, you can come in and eat, but you have to be out by 3:30. So then we thought, that's not possible for us, you know. And we can't eat that fast. So we said, okay, it's all right. It's not a problem, you know. We may come back next time. Then this person, very kind, said, okay, don't worry. Then come in, just come in. And what you can do is that you just sit down and order quickly. We'll cook the food for you and you can eat. Take your time. At 3:30, we're going to leave and just close the doors. And you can just continue to eat. And then when you finish, leave and close the doors behind you. So that was very kind of them. You know, that because, you know, at that time, we were pretty hungry already. So let us in, and then we had a really nice time. And our friends were so happy. They left a nice tip for the person, which I'm sure made them happy too. But this kindness, you know, this person didn't have to do that. You know, they could have just said, because they didn't own the business, they were just working there for the boss. But this kind of little extra touch of kindness really rubbed off. We were, you know, three of us very happy. We had a nice meal, took our time, and by the time we left at 4, you know, they actually had started to come back. One of them had started to come back. So it's just these little random acts of kindness which actually go a long way. And it is helpful because it comes back to you, you know. So in the way that we were able to show our appreciation was to leave them a fairly nice tip. So that's how it sometimes comes back. But it doesn't mean that you have to become a doormat to show compassion towards others, you know. You also need to be compassionate to yourself. You have to take care of yourself in order to take care of others. So if you think about the times that you've been flying, and then you get this what do you call it? The cabin announcement right at the beginning, telling you the safety announcement, and they say, in the case of an emergency and the oxygen masks drop down, first put the oxygen mask on yourself, then attend to the children, attend to those young children who are traveling with you. So they don't say, oh, first put the oxygen mask on the children, then put it on yourself, because maybe there may not be enough oxygen by the time in the cabin for you to be conscious. So first take care of yourself, put the mask on yourself, then put it on your children. So that's kind of similar to compassionate action. You have to take care of yourself. The Dalai Lama says, I sleep 9 hours a day. Then when I wake up in the morning, I think about how I can benefit this world in an altruistic way. So there's quite a lot of research already done into compassion and kindness. And what they really found was that being a more compassionate and kind person helps you become a happier person. So one interesting one is this, that University of Wisconsin-Madison, under one of the departments, the psychology department, under the guidance of this professor called Richie Davidson, who is also a student of the Dalai Lama, they developed a kindness curriculum for 4 to 5-year-old children at kindergarten, a kindness curriculum. And then they kind of put in an experiment to see whether this kindness curriculum actually does work, does help these children, 4 to 5-year-olds, who actually don't know anything about kindness or compassion or whatever. They're just operating from a very basic level. So what's valuable to 4 to 5-year-olds? Stickers, you know, these stickers that you put on. You know, I remember when I was young, you know, I used to collect stickers too. So the experiment was that give each child a bunch of stickers and then say to them, give it to whoever you want to give it to. And then the very interesting thing is this. Those children who went through this kindness curriculum were more likely to give away more of their stickers to not just their friends, but also to people who were not their favorites, their least favorite people, they would give stickers to. Also, they would give stickers to children who look a bit ill or a bit sickly or a bit unhappy, and also to children that they didn't even know, they would give them stickers. So, in comparison, children who didn't go through this kindness curriculum, what they found was that they didn't give away their stickers as easily, and as they progressed through the semester, they became more selfish, which is very sad, really, because somehow they picked up this idea of being self-centered and selfish. So kindness does, just practicing some compassion and kindness really does help. Even with children as young as 4 to 5 years, which goes to actually show that I think fundamentally we are kind and compassionate. It's just that along the way we pick up these habits to be more self-centered and selfish. So if you spend some time on loving kindness and meditation, which does strengthen your compassion and sense of connection with others, maybe as long as it takes for you to usually brush your teeth during the day, you could be on your way to become a happier, kinder, and more compassionate person. So remember, it's a win-win-win situation. A win for the person who receives your kindness and compassion, a win for you for giving this kindness and compassion, because you will get it back one day, and also a win for the people who witness it, because they are likely to do something more compassionate that day. So that is really wise selfishness. We act out of a sense of altruism for others because it will ultimately benefit us too. So act wisely selfish instead of foolishly selfish. So compassion for others is ultimately in our own best interest. So that's wise selfishness. I think you can try that and see what happens. So that's all for tonight. Thank you for joining us and watching. If you like what you hear and our teachings, do share us and like us. I appreciate it. We would appreciate it a lot. But in the meantime, thanks once again for your practice, and take care and have a nice end to the week. Thank you.